出不多於兩個問題。先請特首。
大家早晨。琴日係1年1度嘅全民國家安全教育日。今年係習近平主席提出總體國家安全觀嘅10週年，亦都係香
security concept. It is the first national security education day during the 10th anniversary. Director Xia Baolong attended the event online and made a speech. It shows the importance he attaches to the event. I thank him for his long-standing directions and guidance. Mr. Xia pointed out that on the 19th of March this year, the LegCo fully endorsed the enactment of the national security of the Safeguard National Security Ordinance. This marks an important milestone for Hong Kong. Hong Kong has built a very strong protection to safeguard our national security. This is the best time for Hong Kong to focus on development. Mr. Xia said that there needs to be 5 areas we need to do in order to safeguard national security. We have to make sure that national security is fully safeguarded so that we can have high-quality development. Secondly, we have to more faithfully adhere to one country, two systems, because this is the fundamental system that enables Hong Kong's prosperity. And we need to tap into the advantage given to us under the one country, two system. Fourthly, we have to better integrate into national development because this will give Hong Kong a stronger impetus for further development. Fifthly, we have to adapt to new circumstances and new challenges. We have to, in the new landscape, scale new heights. I also delivered a speech in the event. I talked about the government's work to safeguard national security on 4 areas. Half of my speech was devoted on economic development. The government will continue to explain to the general public about the need to safeguard national security. We will continue to consolidate the protective system. We have to do better in relation to national security. In relation to developing our economy, the government will work on 5 areas. First, to better combine an efficient government with an effective market. We will aim to improve people's livelihood. We will also seize the opportunity brought by new quality productive forces. We will continue to nurture a pool of talent. We will also continue to stay connected to the world and to the mainland. We will make use of the opportunities. We will continue to make investment and we will support the development of SMEs. Mr. Xia's speech talked about Hong Kong's path from stability to prosperity. We need to work on 5 tasks. First, we need to focus on economic development now that we have national security. We will seize every opportunity we have to work for the well-being of Hong Kong people and the betterment of Hong Kong's economy. I thank Mr. Xia for his guidance and the care he has shown to Hong Kong. I would like to share with you my observation of Mr. Xia's speech. Mr. Xia's speech was delivered to the whole of Hong Kong, to various sectors and different age groups. First of all, the government should focus on high-quality development. We need to stay focused on the objective. We need to stay on course. The commerce industry will have to invoke their innovative ideas. We need to find new growth areas. Different quarters in Hong Kong should work together for the betterment of Hong Kong so that Hong Kong can once again shine. Youngsters need to combine what they've learned with experience. They should pursue their dreams and make their own future. Hong Kong has gone through different development phases. Hong Kong people have always found different ways to grow. Hong Kong people need to understand that the landscape has changed. They should take matters into their own hands and they should stay flexible and adaptive. We need to ride on the Lion Rock spirit and write our own future. Integrating into national security will give us plenty of opportunities. Mainland China is the second largest economy in the world. It has a population of 1.4 billion people. Hong Kong, given its proximity, can fully take advantage of the opportunities. Our country will continue to provide Hong Kong with supporting measures. This will give us the foundation for long-term prosperity and stability. But we need to do our work as well so that we can scale new heights. Now the floor is open. If you are named, please identify yourself and don't ask more than 2 questions. The one on the left in pale blue. Good morning, I'm from Cable TV. I would like to first ask about the fire in New Lucky House. There are many problems. Previously, there was a demolition order and various mandatory orders, many over the many years, but they have not been complied with. Is it the case that when the authorities have issued these orders, they don't care whether it's been complied with? Is it the case that the government have not fulfilled this responsibility? Will you enhance enforcement? What about preparations in relation to 1st of May, the Golden Weekend? Will you extend the operating hours of border control points? How many visitors do you expect? Will there be any new measures to attract more visitors to come to Hong Kong?
For the fire that broke out at the building in Jordan, we're working on 4 fronts. First, on fire safety. There are key considerations. There are different ordinances involving different departments for fire safety. Those departments are doing their work. There are old buildings in Hong Kong, and there are many such buildings in the city. There are tens of thousands of such old buildings. We have finite resources, but there are many buildings to work on. So we have to plan for that. This means we need to get our priority right with our enforcement effort. On this point, I have asked departments to look at their procedures and their priorities. First, for the fire services department and the buildings department, I have asked them to do better in enforcement. This covers procedures. They need to streamline their procedures. They need to shorten the time it takes for certain procedures. Now, the second point. say a building is issued with an order to improve their fire safety installations or to do something about the building safety. For a long time, many units in those flats failed to comply with those orders. So we need stronger enforcement and stiffer penalties to achieve greater deterrence. Now, on stiffer penalties, there will be legislative amendments. For the buildings department, they require buildings and flats to conduct improvement works. For failure to comply with those rules, we will have legislative amendments to introduce stiffer penalties. In some cases that warrant speedy government intervention to get those works right. In CAP 527 Fire Safety Buildings Ordinance, there will be a proposal to be tabled at the Legislative Council. For buildings with fire safety installations that warrant swift action, the government can carry out the works, and then we recover the necessary expenses from the units involved and also possibly impose fines as well. The Security Bureau will work at pace on this front. I have asked the SB to shorten the time it takes to table the bill by 2 to 3 months. Within this year, we will be able to table the bill at LegCo. Let me stress that for building safety, the owners have the responsibility. They also have the responsibility for the maintenance of their buildings. There are many buildings in Hong Kong. We respect private property. Making their living place a better place is the responsibility shared by the owners of those buildings. We have different kinds of assistance. There are funding schemes, Operation Building Bright 2.0, among other subsidy schemes. The Urban Renewal Authority also has a one-stop platform to offer help to owners. Owners in need can go to different departments for help. But I also want to make an appeal. I see delays because there's a spike in the works fees. There may be people trying to make a profit, and there may be unreasonable charges. In those cases, people can turn to the URA. They can give you a fair assessment of fees. Profiteering or profiting off such things is unacceptable because building safety affects everyone. So on multiple fronts, we will step up our efforts. In setting priorities, different departments will learn from this incident. For buildings with long delays, I have asked departments to review the situation. Overall, we will step up our efforts on this front. That includes issuing directions and prosecuting people. We will make enforcement more effective and move faster with prosecution. We will also strengthen our laws to empower departments. That way, when necessary, departments can carry out the works first to prevent further delays and ensure the works are performed, and afterwards, the departments recover those expenses from those units. Now, for the May 1st Golden Week, we are actively making plans. Back in March, the CSTB set up a coordination meeting. On the flow of visitors, we already have good experience in this area. On the actual implementation, the Culture, Sports and Tourism will make an announcement. At different boundary control points over the May 1st Golden Week, when we expect many visitors, departments will make an announcement. I'm confident in the management of the boundary control points. Some control points will see smoother traffic, others will see longer queues. And it's important to let people know we will make plans to attract more visitors. The tourism board and the tourism sector and the catering and hotel sector, they will also make plans for the May 1st Golden Week. As I said just then, Hong Kong's business sectors have been able to adapt and seize opportunities. I'm pleased to see that some operators have adapted to the changing demands and patterns of visitors. So businesses have launched different initiatives to make themselves more attractive. I know the HKTB will also put on a pyrotechnic show to make Hong Kong more attractive. The HKTB will also release different kinds of information to let tourists know our different attractions, such as where to look for the events of the day and night vibes across the district, so that we can show people that Hong Kong is a hospitable city, a place that can offer visitors good experience over the May 1st Golden Week. Next question. On the left, the gentleman over there.
Really, some English questions from the South China Morning Post. Firstly, with regards to the fire in Jordan, earlier you mentioned that there would be some adjustments in terms of penalties and how the government will be doing things that'll be handed to the Legislative Council. Will you be able to provide some more details and also the time frame on what these changes will be? And also, just following up on what you said earlier as well, does the government also have any sort of plan on more strictly enforcing fire safety orders, building inspection orders, and even perhaps adjusting the guest house policy in Hong Kong following this fire? And the second question, with the recent news surrounding Sheikh Ali Rashid Sheikh Ali Rashid Ali Saeed Al Maktoum setting up of a family office here in Hong Kong, the incident sort of suggested the government did not do any vetting before inviting guests to come and meet you. Would such practice be changed in the future? And also perhaps will the government worry that this whole saga will affect its overall plan in attracting overseas investment? Thank you.
In respect of the fire at Jordan, I think it is a tragic incident that everybody tried to prevent it from further happening. In regard to what we should do as we identify the issues in the handling of this fire, we know that there have been delays in some buildings in improving the fire installation or structural change, even though they may have received directions issued by building department or fire services department. We will be, first of all, enhancing our enforcement action by, first of all, making our enforcement action procedure more efficient. We will be trying to shorten the duration of time that will be taken for actual action to be taken against those who have not complied. We will also set priorities on prosecution. For those, of course, which have been posing quite immediate fire hazard or structural hazard, then of course they will be put in priority. And for those, the building's conditions are undesirable, of course, we will set high priority, or on some incidents, we will actually move in to do the work quickly, and then we will have the responsible people to shoulder the cost and also to add some penalty. So what we will do in regard of this is strengthen, first of all, enforcement action, which includes prosecution, and also the penalty in respect of non-compliance. And we will be increasing penalties in two areas. First of all is under the fire installation requirements, CAP 572, there will be legislative proposal to be made to LegCo for government to be empowered to actually carry out the necessary work to improve fire safety and fire installation if the responsible person delay for a long time, or when the hazard is of a type that we think we need to move in. So that will ensure that some of the delays will not happen. And also, we will be making a legislative proposal to increase the penalty for non-compliance with, for example, directions issued by building department. Increasing the penalty will ensure that people have the right deterrence effect to ensure that they will be complying and not causing delay. But it is important for all to note that ensuring buildings are maintained in a satisfactory condition, both in terms of reducing fire hazard or ensuring building safety, is the responsibility of the owner of the units. There are so many units in Hong Kong, and it is to our own good that we maintain them in a satisfactory condition. There have been many subsidy schemes and assistance schemes to help owners or corporations to do this if they come across difficulties. But I do notice in some cases it is because of sudden increase of costs, of charges that are required in some of the bidders for the construction work. If there are incidents where you think you need help, please go to the responsible government. If there are instances you think somebody is doing it illegally or there are ulterior motives for private gain, report it to the authorities. I think it is a collective effort for all of us to improve our structural and also fire safety. In regard to, you talk about gas out policies. I think under the present law, when a gas out applies to be given the license, then the responsible authorities actually look at a lot of conditions for the applicants to satisfy. And of course, when fire exits are taken together as a whole in all the consideration in issuing the license, then the number of people that may be staying in the guest houses within a building will be taken into consideration. So the present law actually allows this to be addressed. How this can be improved, of course, the responsible authorities can listen to views. But I think under the present policy and the present law, already there exists the examination of sufficiency of fire exit in this regard. In regard to family officers, I think family officers are an area that all cities, all economies strive to attract them to come, because they are all supervalued assets owners, and they create very strong positive economic and financial benefits to the city, to Hong Kong, for example. So we will do our best to invite as many to come, and provided the money are legitimate money. We welcome whether he is a man in the streets, or he comes from a wealthy family, or he is a sovereignty fund. I think that is the attitude we should take. And also, I think the government should not always just be passive in this competitive world for family offices to be set up. We have done a lot to improve Hong Kong's attractiveness in this regard. For example, we have introduced legislation to give tax concession to family offices, businesses, and investment. And this is an area that every cities are fighting for to get. Provided they are legitimate businessmen, legitimate asset owners, they are always welcome. And in all things we pursue, we have to balance the benefit with the risks. And I think in this overall thing, provided the money is legitimate money. I think we should take all reasonable action to attract them to come.
時間關係咧，我哋解答今朝
Let's take questions from the last reporter, the gentleman over there. I'm from Hong Kong Economic Herald. Yesterday was the National Security Education Day. The Ministry of State Security talked about a number of cases, and some cases involve espionage. So in addition to enhancing public education, would you enhance your ability to monitor espionage activities? And now I speak in Mandarin. The MTRCL made a profit of $7.8 billion, yet they announced a fare increase. There are comments saying that is it reasonable to do that? And there are people who comment that the fare of MTR is too high. So in relation to the fare adjustment mechanism, will there be any review conducted? Regarding national security, I spoke in the event. I said that, national security risks have many different features, one of which is that it stays hidden. Foreign agents, spies, espionage activities may take place in Hong Kong in a clandestine way. These agents may stay in Hong Kong under a different identity. Yes, a case was cited yesterday to illustrate the features of espionage activities. These clandestine activities have taken place in Hong Kong in the past. There is a risk in this regard. We have to stay vigilant because these activities may take place among us. One of the objectives of the Education Day is to remind the public that there is a continuous risk against that undermines our national security. We need to better understand these national security risks. That is also something that we want to do well with our national security education. We advocate a mainstream that supports patriots administering Hong Kong, as well as the value of love for our country and for Hong Kong. And yet we have to always stay alert. Regarding your question about the fare of MTR services, there is a mechanism in place. The mechanism was formulated after abundant discussion. The overall operation situation is taken into account, and that operation is different from a lot of other enterprises. Salary is one factor. Prices are increasing in Hong Kong. The fare adjustment mechanism was put in place after abundant discussion, as I said. We will continue to listen to views. But at the same time, We need to consider that we need to have a stable, efficient transportation system. A balance needs to be struck. I believe that legislators and different parties will voice their views and we will take them all into account. Every mechanism has its advantages and shortages. I don't think there is a solution that covers every angle and is able to please everyone. That's the end of the press conference. Thank you.